What's up, everybody? It's Michael with McAfee Home Group. We are back here in the office for another episode of the New Agent Podcast. Today we are joined by Kyrsten. Is it Kyrsten?
Kyrsten,
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So Kyrsten, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, all that fun stuff.
I'm Kyrsten Eakright. I'm an agent here at Keller Williams, and I am from North Manchester, Indiana, so just a super small town in Wabash County, if you know where Wabash County is. Graduated from Manchester High School, and I went right into real estate afterwards. Didn't go to college or anything, and now I live in Huntington, Indiana, on my own.
Okay, well that's pretty unconventional. So what made you decide to skip the whole college route and just go straight into real estate?
Yeah, so I had a lot of people pushing me to go to college, and I was like, I don't know, I don't need the experience. I knew I wanted to go into real estate since I was like 8. I knew that something about real estate I just liked and I wanted to get into, and I just didn't see a point in college because I knew what I was going to do, and so I was just like, I'm skipping it, and I'm just going to go right into making money. That's kind of how I looked at it. So
that's awesome. So did you feel any pressure? Because I know, like, personally, I didn't go to college. I went to some college, but not a lot. And just the way people talk to you, almost, they're like, oh, well, that's fine that you don't go to, like, It just almost feels condescending. So did you have a lot of pressure once you made that decision of, like, have that feeling of people, like, talking down to you almost?
Yeah, almost, yeah. They were like, well, that's just kind of dumb. Like, why wouldn't you want to further your education? I was like, well, I am in real estate. I'm going to real estate school. And a lot of people said, like, well, why don't you get a business degree? I was like, a business for what? You know? So a lot of people did kind of give me a little bit of crap about it, but now I think people see the value in what I do, and so it's just kind of like, well, congrats.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, and like with a business degree, it's real estate is your own business. So it's like, okay, do I want to go learn from a college how to run a business, or do I just want to go run my own business?
Yes.
And especially with real estate, I mean, the cost to get into it is so low. I mean, I think it was like maybe $3,000 with classes and all dues, all that. To be able to run your own business with that low of an entry cost is just an incredible experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So how long have you been doing real estate then?
7 months.
7 months. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6.
6
months. Yep.
So how do you like it through the 6 months so far?
I like it. It's a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I went into it like, I'm just going to sit back and relax and
open some doors,
make my checks. No, that's not how it is at all. It's a lot of hard work, and I'm okay with hard work, but I didn't expect it to be like this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away the fun. It's still so fun, and definitely what I want to do, like, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, I'm working more hours than I ever have in my life.
Yep.
Any other job, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, you know,
you don't clock out.
No.
Once you get your license, you never clock out.
No, the phone buzzes and you're like, I got a text last night at 9:30, and I was like, I was getting ready for bed because I'm like an old man. I go to bed super early.
I do too. Like 9:10, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, it's time to shut it off. Let's go to bed. But I got a text at 9:30, and I was like, let's just deal with it real quick.
Yeah.
You know, take the phone call, and it's just like that. You're always on, and I think it's, you know, you don't have to be, but I really don't mind it. It's like, okay, you know, it pays off now to be on all the time, where maybe down the road I can shut off and turn off a bit.
I feel the same way, and I'm a people person, so I love to talk to people. Absolutely love it. So, I mean, if somebody calls me at 9 o'clock, usually I'll answer. Unless I'm in bed, I probably won't answer. But people person, love to talk to them. So really, I'm the same way. I try to just pick up the phone and talk. And when you're new, it's almost like you've got to. That's how you run your business. So pretty much through your phone.
Yeah, it really is. Like there was a time I went golfing at Cherry Hill, and I always have my phone inside the little cubby there.
Yeah.
And I looked down, and it was gone, and I was like, oh my God, that's my whole life right there.
That's my whole life, literally. My life and my business in one little device.
Yeah, I feel like I've been on my phone more now than I ever have.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, it just never ends.
Oh, yeah.
So, straight out of high school, you jumped straight into getting your license then? Or?
So, actually what happened was I was working a part-time job for about 2 months after I graduated at a clothing store. And I wanted to take like a gap year of just working and living life and being young, So Reagan reached out to me and said she was looking for an assistant. And I said, well, yeah. So I went in, I was her assistant for a total of, let's see if I can do the math here, 7, 8 months, something like that. And about 3 months into it is when I actually started classes, because that's just where the time fell. That's when I wanted to do it. So I started classes, and then about my last month of classes, I started training our other assistant. And so I didn't go into it right after high school, but I mean, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little gap, and then you were feeling it out in the industry.
Yeah.
Now you're the second person I've had on who started out as an assistant.
Yep.
How do you feel? Do you think that helped you with your career, being able to get your feet wet a little bit, have some steady income, and then make the jump?
Yeah, and it helped me a lot in school too, because I had like 3 months under my belt of being an assistant. I knew what contracts were. I didn't know exactly how to read them, but I knew some legal things, stuff like that. So it definitely helped me through school a lot. And I would probably say that now I look back and I think it helped a lot. Like the knowledge that I gained, because Reagan would mentor me as I was her assistant. We would do trainings, and it was kind of like a second class. We would do like contracts and script and role play, just stuff like that we would do while I was an assistant, because I knew that I was going to become an agent, and it was just kind of pre-work, I guess. So yeah, it definitely helped, for sure.
Yeah, that first time I ever wrote up an offer, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like I had one, I knew like what to do, but it was just so nerve-wracking. I'm like shaking.
I know, and you look through it like 8 times, and you're like, I think it's correct. Okay, wait, one more time. Okay, it's correct. One more time.
Yeah.
You just,
I still do that sometimes. I'm like, you know what, let me, like, buyer inspection response and stuff like that. I'm like, let me double check that.
Yeah, and I don't know for you, but for me, I have a gut feeling when I know something's wrong with my purchase agreement. I'll send it, but then I'll be like, something's wrong with something, and I'll go back and look, and sure enough, something's wrong.
Yeah,
I always have the
2021 to 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge adjustment once that year changes.
I
thought I
know.
did it the other day. I was like, wrote an offer, they accepted it, and I was like, oh wait, but I put 2022. So
Oh, that's good.
So what really drove you to join the Stack? What made you go into a team instead of a single agent?
So I honestly, when I first thought about going into real estate, I was super young. I knew nothing. I didn't know like about teams, anything like that. Really, what made me know I wanted to join a team was when I was Reagan's assistant, because she showed me like the value I brought to her, and she really said, this is making my life so much easier. Like she was doing 50 plus transactions a year, and
No assistant?
with no assistant.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, so she was just like, I need help, and she saw the value in that. And eventually, obviously, every agent wants to sell 50 plus a year.
Oh yeah.
So I saw the value in that, and when we hired Mariah, she's almost overqualified. I will say she's amazing, and I just don't think I could ever leave and be on my own, just from like Reagan's my mentor forever. Even if I did leave, like she's someone that I will always look up to and always ask for advice from. But just the value a team brings, and like sometimes I'll call her crying. I feel like nobody else I can call and be like, I don't know what to do. So I just see all the value that a team brings, and you can be successful on your own too, but I think you can be just as successful on a team.
Yeah, when I especially like, that mentorship when you first get in, I think is so important to have, because you really don't know it's not like a regular job where they come in and train you. Yeah, Keller Williams does training and whatnot, but it's almost different like than the day-to-day.
Yep.
Like I did a lot of research before I jumped into real estate, and then I got in and I was like, oh my God, this is nothing like that YouTube video I saw 14 times.
Yep.
So I think just having that, but I do think a lot of people get hung up on the split when they first get in.
Yes.
And I don't think that's important at all. Of course, you also have to look at what they're giving you.
Yes.
Because there are some teams that, they don't provide the mentorship. They don't provide anything other than that name.
Yes, other than the name. And that was another reason I was kind of skeptical at first about joining the team when I saw the contract and everything. And then I was just like, I saw everything that was going to be given to me. The mentorship, like the marketing, nothing I have to pay for unless my client gifts. Like I'll pay for my own client gifts and stuff like that, but it's tremendous money saving, I will say that. but you still have to spend a little bit, and I have an assistant. So, I mean, that's priceless right there. And I don't have to pay her technically out of my own pocket, but it's just coming out my split. I don't get hung up on the split. I mean, just sell more real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Just make more money.
Just sell more real estate, exactly.
And I think that's the whole point of teams, just being able to do that volume, and also having somebody feed you leads. You know, I don't know how you guys do your guys' prospecting, but, you know, we pay for a lot of internet leads, and, you know, they're just funneled right over to me, which really helped me get out of the gate.
Yeah, for sure.
So then how long from the time you got into real estate before you closed your first transaction?
2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
2 weeks, but it was a cash buyer, so that's why it was so quick. Yeah.
I'm sitting over here 3 months, and it was $75 commission check.
$75?
It was $5,000 worth of lots.
Oh my goodness. Mine was $175,000 purchase. So it wasn't too bad of a commission for my first round, and I've closed 9 more since then.
So you're at 10 for the year so far?
10 for the year.
That's awesome. And you've been full-time for 6 months? Okay, that's awesome. Off to a hot start.
Yep.
So, okay, I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? There was going to be something important in there. We'll go on to the next topic.
Okay.
So, inside the Stackhouse, so I know every team's a little bit different. Some have, you know, their preferred buyer's agent. So what's your role inside the Stackhouse team?
I'm a buyer specialist, so I take care of all the buyers. I go to all showings. We don't have showing agents or anything like that, so I'm a buyer's agent. I go to all showings. I host a lot of our open houses because in our team contract, we are supposed to attend so many trainings, so many open houses, so many closings, so many showings. So I do a couple open houses a month, and I do all of our buyer consults. Let's see what else I do. That's just about it. Anything buyer related is my responsibility.
Okay, awesome. No, that's awesome. So how do you feel about open houses? Because I feel like it's a split room. Some people hate them, some people love them.
I love them when they're busy. When
Okay.
they're busy,
I think
really
everybody
like them.
loves them when they're busy.
Yeah, when they're busy, I like them. It's such a good opportunity to gain buyers. Like you bring or even sellers at that. You bring your business card, you talk to people that are there without an agent, and you're like, you have an agent.
Yeah.
It's good exposure, and you can definitely get clients from it. Now, when they're slow and you're just kind of like
sitting there playing on your phone, sitting on the stairs,
watching TikToks, you know. So, no, I like open houses. I like hosting them, but obviously it's more fun when they're busy. So I'm a person that likes them. Yes.
Yeah, definitely a lot more fun when they're busy. I had one up at the lake. One group came and they were 15 minutes early. It was from 5 to 7 p.m. on a Thursday night. They came early and then there was nobody else. So for 2 hours I'm sitting there scrolling.
I have had an open house where that's happened. One party came right at the beginning and then it was just done.
Then you're like looking at it, you're like, it's 5 minutes till, you know what, let's just go.
Yeah, that actually happened to me one time. It was 5 minutes till, no one had been there for like 30 minutes, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna head out. 4 parties pulled up. 4. And I was like, I walked out, turned around, and I was like, are you guys here for the open house? I was like, I was just locking up, but let me unlock it. And they all, and one of the parties ended up being our accepted offer. So I'm glad I opened it back up.
That's a great way. I had a buyer on my St. Mary's listing, came to the open house. They didn't like that house, but we were under contract within 2 weeks on them for something else.
Yeah.
So if you're a new agent out there, get out there, do as many open houses as possible. Don't be too picky. Just go do them.
Just go do them.
So what's been the biggest surprise since you jumped into real estate?
Oh man, the biggest surprise. I guess I could go back to how difficult it is. And I don't want to say it, but stressful. Sometimes it's very, very stressful. And like I said, I just assumed I was going to go in and stress-free and open some doors and get my check.
You live in a good life.
Yeah. And I do live the good life. It's a great life, but I just didn't expect it to be this hard or time consuming at that. Like, you never turn it off, ever. I mean, if you're a new agent, you can't afford to. Because especially when you're a full-time, you can't afford to. But that was probably the biggest surprise, just the difficulty. And, but I had good resources. So, but that was definitely a surprise.
Yeah, no, definitely. I wasn't expecting it either. I was like, all right, we'll go in there, open some couple doors.
Yeah.
So then, what's your guys' main source of prospects? Are you guys big internet leads? Are you guys big Sphere? Kind of a mix of all of them?
So we do a lot of internet leads, and we don't get a ton from internet leads. We have gotten a few, but honestly, a lot of it comes from referral.
Okay.
Like, I would probably say at least 80% comes from referral. And
I wish.
Well, a lot of them do come from Ring and Sphere because, I mean, she's been in it for 5 years. She's built up her referral business, so that's how a lot of it comes in. I have had a few buyer consults with internet leads, and I have gotten a couple under contract, a couple from open houses too, but I would probably say 80% referral for sure.
Okay, that's awesome. I wish I was at that number.
Yeah.
So when you do get a buyer, how does that work with you guys? Do you guys do like an actual sit down, like in the office buyer consultation, or okay?
Yeah. So we set up a time. They come here. We go over all of our documents, all of our buyer docs. I explain the purchase agreement to them so they know what they're getting into. I don't cover everything in detail, but the most important things, like how much I recommend for earnest money, the inspection, and all the things you can ask for, not ask for, closing costs, like the important things I cover. And then I show them the MLS, and I set them up on a search based on all the criteria that they give me, and then we just wrap it up. So it's nothing super, it's not really time consuming. Maybe an hour.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, then you get the face-to-face.
Yes.
Kind of solidify that relationship.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm a people person. I like to talk to them. I love to build relationships. All of my clients I have an amazing relationship with. I think they're awesome. But yeah, huge relationship person. So getting them in person and sitting down and talking with them is huge to me personally. So
yeah, no, that's incredible. So buyer-wise, do you kind of have a rule in mind where, let's say you went and showed them 10 properties, or what number of properties do you show somebody before you're like, okay, we need to revisit this whole criteria thing?
So really, I haven't ran into that a whole lot yet. I do have some buyers that are kind of, like I said earlier, just kind of moving a little slow because of Christmas time, which is fine. But I haven't been really to that point where I've shown 10 plus houses and just none have worked out, or I've got really picky buyers, because I think a lot of people can understand in this market that you can't afford to be picky.
Yeah.
You really can't. But if I did happen to come across that, it'd be a hard conversation to have. Just to sit down and be like, listen, we've seen 10 properties, none of them are good enough.
Yeah, what am I missing?
Yeah, what am I missing?
Almost, when I do that, I almost blame myself. I'm like, what am I missing here?
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't feel like you're attacking them for wanting to go see houses.
Yeah.
You take the blame, like, what am I missing here?
Yeah, for sure. That's probably what I would do too. That's probably, because I don't know, confrontation with clients, it almost feels, it's like uneasy, like, I don't know how to bring this to you, but I've had a couple, but so far I haven't gotten any heat about anything. They just take it nicely. No, can't say the same.
No. We got yelled at midnight, 6 a.m., 8 a.m., oh my goodness. Not too many. There was just a certain group that just, it didn't work out. But it ended up working out in the end. They loved me. But there was just some game time heat between us.
Yeah, I got it.
So how's the freedom been with real estate? Because everybody brags about how you get to make your own schedule, work when you want. So why don't you kind of explain how's that's worked out for you so far?
If you're a brand new agent and working when you want and you're making money, good for you. Can't say the same.
No.
And I don't understand. If you can shut it off and work like 9 to 5 in real estate and make good money, how are you doing it? What's your secret? I'd like to know.
Please.
Genuinely.
Please.
The freedom is great because there are times where I don't have to call someone and say, I need the day off for a funeral, for instance. I need the day off. I can just send out a mass text to all my clients, I'm going to be unavailable this day. And that's just how it's going to be. Like, you can't, don't text me, don't call me. But no, I mean, there is some freedom, of course, but if you take too much of the freedom for granted, then you're going to fail.
Oh, 100%.
So.
And I think that's something people don't realize is, yes, we make our own schedule. You don't have to work with any client, so technically you are making your own schedule by saying you'll show it to them.
Yeah.
But if you do that a lot, you're not going to have any business.
Yeah, exactly.
So then things just don't work out. So then what's a day-to-day schedule kind of look like for you?
Okay, so I usually start my day 9 to noon. I make my lead calls. If I don't have any, usually I'll jump ahead and I'll do my 12:30 to 2 o'clock. And I will go through all of my emails, because I don't check any of my emails until I make all my lead calls and all of it's done. I'll check my email. I will go over anything I have pending. If I have an issue, I'll write personal notes. I'll do some sort of marketing. And then I open my day up after 2 o'clock for showings. If it's urgent and this house just came on the market and it's hot and there are gonna be several offers, I will make time because I'm new. Yeah. I need to do that, so I will do that. Sometimes I'll break up my schedule, but that is really the regimen I stick to. And I do my lead calls from home, and then I come into the office and do everything else here. So, yeah.
So how do you like the working from home thing, making the dials from home?
I do like making the dials from home.
Okay.
I cannot, when I come in here and there's a lot of people in here and I'm trying to make calls, our office isn't like yours, it's not as closed off.
You guys just gotta shut the vault door.
I know. So I am like squirrel when I'm on the phone and I hear people talking, and so it's much more calm at my house. No one's talking in the background and I just feel more focused. When I tried to do them in here, and it just did not work out. And I think it was probably because I decided to do it on a day where everyone wanted to come into the office. Maybe I should give it another shot, but I just have found that that's what works best for me. Yeah. And so that's what I do. Reagan's super cool with it, so it'll probably change eventually, but...
Yeah, well, you guys are like celebrities in here. I feel like people are always knocking on your door.
People are always... I have a command issue. I have a tech issue, because we're tech committee, so... But no, people ask us a lot of questions.
Yeah, you gotta be like us. Everybody's scared to talk to us, so we just close the vault door and everybody leaves us alone.
Oh, no.
So, and they know from 8 to 10,
Yeah. We know you guys are serious. Don't peek in on us from this time frame. That's okay.
So somebody actually told me today that I was very hard to approach and hard to talk to.
Really?
Yeah, another agent in Keller Williams. So I was like, I didn't realize that. Maybe I need to work on that. Be more friendly.
Be more friendly.
Maybe it's just the demeanor I have of just should walk in, get my things, walk back in here. So, but it is what it is. So I'm glad that work from home thing worked for you. I know I tried it. My family had COVID and I was stuck at home and I was going cuckoo bananas. Staying in there all day.
Oh yeah. I get the same way because I had COVID too, but I was so down bad I didn't work. It was terrible. I even went home and lived with my mom and dad for a week because I could not walk my dog. I could barely get out of bed. It was really bad. But I don't go too crazy because it's just 3 hours where I'm making my calls. But when it gets over that 4-hour point, I'm just
I need to talk to somebody.
I gotta talk to somebody. I gotta go. So Reagan gets a lot of calls from me. If I don't come into the office, she'll get a call from me at 2 o'clock. Hey, I'm bored. This is what I've got going on. Yeah. Here are some random updates that you probably don't even need to know, but...
I feel like I get that when I'm in the car. Some days I'll have really long driving days where I'm Roanoke, Kendallville, Auburn, all that. And I'm like, who can I call today?
Yeah.
Let's see. Exactly. Yeah, I'm just calling. There's no reason for me to call. I'm bored right now.
Yeah, I'm just bored. Yep.
So what's been your longest day so far that you can think of?
It was like a month or 2 months in. I showed a house at about 5 o'clock, and it was it was my second purchase agreement that I ever wrote for my second offer. And I showed it about 5 o'clock. I went home and I had a call ringing like 3 times because I'm like, wait, I don't think this is right. Wait, I don't think this is right. They didn't have any offers on the property, so I didn't feel pressured to get it in at any certain time, but I was working hard on it. I submitted the offer and gave them 24 hours. Well, they responded within 30 minutes. I had a counter offer in 30 minutes. And we went back and forth a couple times. I was on the phone with the listing agent, my clients, the listing agent again, back and forth. And I was up until about 11:30. All of us were going back and forth. And we finally came to an agreement at 11:30. And that was probably the longest day.
But at least you got it under contract.
But at least I got it under contract and the same day. That was pretty cool. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I've had those late. I think my longest was probably around the same time. We had put in an offer on a property with multiple offers. We were the highest, but they wanted us to change some of the terms. They didn't get to it till like 10:30, 11. My client's in Arizona, so I'm talking to the listing agent at like 10:30, 11. And then I call my client, and then I call the listing agent.
Yep, sounds about the same. Yep.
And all that verbal stuff almost drives me nuts sometimes. I'm like, just put it on paper, give it to me. That's how I want it. Because then it's set in stone. There's no, well, my seller changed their mind. My buyer changed their mind. Just throw it on the paper, give it to me, I'll get it back.
Yes. Yes.
But I feel like now that I've been in it for a bit, I almost cut those late nights off a little bit earlier. I'm like, okay, this isn't as crazy as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Let's just move this to tomorrow morning.
Yes, like I'll get to it right tomorrow morning. Like if you're a new agent, like there comes a point where you can shut it off. You can clock out and go to sleep. You can. But there's a time you could just cut it off. And I at first was like, nah.
Yeah, I was like, we gotta get this.
Yep, up until midnight, yeah. But no, there's a time. And it took me a second to realize it. And I'm pretty sure it was that day.
You were like,
I was like,
no more.
This can totally wait until tomorrow. No other offers, and I'm up here stressing out. But it was my second transaction, so I was kind of excited about it. But
yeah, I feel like once you get a couple under, you get a little bit of money made, and you're kind of relaxed. You're like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. And then you're kind of like, okay, this isn't urgent yet.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
So when you go to make an offer on a property, do you call the listing agent first, or do you just kind of submit the offer, or what's your process on that?
Yeah, so usually I'll call the listing agent first and I'll ask, what do your sellers need? Because obviously you can see like possession date and the MLS, stuff like that, but I want to make it look as accommodating to the seller as far as my buyers will take it.
Yeah.
So I always call and I'm like, what do they need? Title work already ordered. What do you need? Just so the offer is clean and it takes less off. That's not what I'm trying to say. Back up. It gives less of a chance for a counter offer too. Like they'll counter the price or something like that, but if you know like what exactly they want, you can kind of put it in there. Obviously I bring it to my buyers first.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what they would want. Are you cool with it?
Most of them are like, yeah.
Yeah, most of them are like, yeah, that's fine. But I've had that happen one time where my buyer was like, I don't like any of that. And I'm like,
oh, okay.
Compromise, a win-win or no deal. So yeah, but yeah, I try to. Sometimes it doesn't happen, especially when it's urgent. I always try to call, but sometimes when it's like urgent and I literally have to get this offer written in 30 minutes, I just have to write the offer.
Yeah.
But I'll call them afterwards and I'll say, feel free to counter anything. Like if I made an error or something, like obviously counter. But I try to.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I've always called the listing agent also. It's it's a hot market and it makes that relationship kind of set up on a good foot.
Did I do that with you when I submitted for Bubble Link? I called you after I showed it. I know for sure I did.
You did call me after, I think so.
I think I did. I'm just like sitting here thinking, did I call him? Because he's probably going to call my bluff if I didn't call him.
No, I think you called me.
I think I did.
I don't know. I think you did, and then So then that one went went all sideways.
Yeah.
So what's been the most
Unfortunately.
awkward conversation you've have had with a client?
Well, with a client. A couple of them, I'm not gonna say.
That's fine.
Try to think of one that's appropriate for a podcast. The most awkward, man.
Or like the hardest, most difficult conversation you've had to have, whether it was like a truth or just this is how it is.
My first rejected offer, that was hard. I was so nervous to call my client and break their heart. I was so scared because there were some clients that, it was a client that really loved this house. He'd been renting for a while, he was ready, and he got a rejected offer, but the hardest one by far was the second rejected offer he got. That was super hard, and he got super discouraged, and we're still looking right now, and I still feel like he's a little discouraged, and trying to like keep clients' spirits up is so hard sometimes, especially after 2 rejected. They're like, I'm never gonna find a house at this point, but that was super hard.
Yeah, that's a tough conversation. I had one with 6. We got one on the 7.
Oh, no.
And we were going in like really strong, but she was also looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath, ranch home in Northwest Allen area.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that's like, there's a lot of cash flowing around.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I'd say my hardest one
Oh boy.
was I had this deal, talked to my client that same night, told her everything was going great.
Oh no.
Was going perfectly fine, and then 10 minutes later I get a call from the buyer's agent, went sideways, then I had to call her back 10 minutes later and tell her we were going back.
Yeah, I wonder who that was.
Yeah, I wonder too.
I wonder who that was. That wasn't me, was it?
No, that was you.
That makes me feel so terrible.
Oh no, it is what it is. She took it like a champ, but it is what it is.
You started, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna call me out, and you totally just
I
did.
I wasn't gonna say any names. You brought up the name. No, but that was.
Everybody watching this podcast definitely knew. They just picked up on it. I know it.
But that was a tough conversation.
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
because literally like 10 minutes before you called me, I had told her, I was like, hey, everything's going good. We're extending earnest money deadline. They had some issues getting a check, but other than that, we are good to go. And then, boom. And then I was heading out of town too, and it was just like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh God. Not good.
No.
But it is what it is.
All due to financing. Get a good lender, everybody.
Yes, good lender. But I think that also helps you grow as a person, because having those conversations, what I do with those conversations is, hey, this is what just happened. We're going back on the market for the second time now, and then pivot, right? But this is what we're going to do. We're going to get the marketing going, roll out the ads again, start getting that going. As soon as we get mutually released, we'll, schedule an open house and get things rolling again. We're going to get this done for you.
Yes, get them excited again.
Exactly.
Their spirits are down, so you have to do something.
Yep, exactly.
That's good.
Hit them with the bad. Hey, sorry, this sucks, but hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get you back under contract. Boom, we're back under contract a week later.
Yeah.
And then now more issues. So. But it is what it is.
It'll close.
Eventually. That's what we're hoping for, but you never know. I know. I think we'll close this time. We'll speed bump.
Yeah. No speed bumps. Speed bumps. Plural.
Yeah, multiple. A couple. So then when you're setting your goals, or have you set your goals for your first year yet?
Yeah, so when I first started, I set some goals, but I was licensed in July, so I just set goals for the rest of the year.
Okay.
And I actually need to check on that. I don't know if I've met them, so you just reminded me. But I did start my 2022 goals.
Okay.
I have all of those wrote down. All of it's in command. Just had a kind of like a team progress type of meeting with Reagan, and I'm on track to do what I wanted to do this year, but I'm super excited for next year.
Are you?
Super excited. I have a lot of big goals. They're pretty big. I think they're doable, but I want to go big. And if I can't reach it, okay, next year I want to reach it. So.
Yeah, and I think that's important when setting goals too. Is like you want to make them attainable, but you don't want to make them too close.
Yeah.
Then you also don't want to throw them out too far. So you want a nice middle ground where it's like, this is definitely achievable, but it's going to take a lot of work to get there.
Yeah, and I like competition. I'm like competing with myself. Like if my goal is $5 million next year and to sell in volume. So
that's doable.
It's doable for sure, but I know that's going to take a lot of work. But if I get to like November and I'm at like 3.5, that'll make me so mad. One, because I know that, because what is that? November 3.1 is that 1.5 million? I can't math. It's 1.5 million. I'd have to make a super competitive. So if I got to that point, I would probably work 24/7 every single day to like meet my goal.
That's fair.
It may not be doable, but I get super competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can be competitive with yourself the way I am, but yeah, I am for sure.
That's great. Competitive with yourself.
I don't know if that's a bad thing. Yeah, I know. Like,
no, I mean that's good. I mean it shows a drive, and I think that's something that's super important in real estate. Is having that like drive of we're gonna get there.
Yeah, like people my age that are in real estate, I see they're doing great. Yeah, I'm like, oh, like I want to be that good too. But at the same point, I'm less competitive with them than I am myself because I want to beat and achieve all my goals, not somebody else's.
Yeah, but it's still nice to be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's still nice. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna be $9,000 short of my goal this year.
Oh no, $9,000.
$9,000.
Oh no.
As long as bowling closes out, then I'll be at $9,000 short.
As long as it closes this year.
Yeah.
Is it on track to close this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well that's good.
But we'll see. No, we're gonna close out.
That would make my blood boil.
We're gonna
$9,000.
Yeah.
In volume, right?
Yep, in volume. So I'm at 4.91.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be at 4.91. So.
Oh my goodness.
Just a hair under, but it is what it is, you know. And that's, you know, I made a post about this the other day. It's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I made that goal in July where I was at 2 million flat, and I didn't really think I was going to hit 5 million. And getting this close, it was awesome, but it still would have been nice just to like. Yeah. And I have something closing January 3rd and January 4th.
So you're going to start out with a bang.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we could.
Yeah. I guess you could look at it though, you're starting out with a bang.
Yeah.
Starting the year out good. That's how I am. I have 2 closings in January, so I'm also starting my January out with a bang, but yeah.
Setting up for the next year. I mean,
yes.
I'm hoping to have a really awesome year. I still got to set my goals for next year.
Yeah.
We'll see what I come up with.
Still got time.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, getting into it. So I started December 1st was my official 1 year. And I didn't make a sale till February for $75. So I think having that database built up to be able to stretch it out through the year, I think is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure.
So how's it been being young and being in real estate?
A lot of people are older than you.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are older than you. And I haven't ran into any clients that are turned off by that. I've met a lot of agents that are turned off by because they think they know more than you, which they do. I mean, if they've been in it forever, they probably know more than me. But I've ran into a couple that think they know more than me because they've been in it for a while, but in fact they don't. And I try to be very professional when that happens because it was something that happened with a contract, and they were saying one thing that the contract said. It did not say that.
There's a lot of people that misinterpret contracts.
Yes, I had someone. I wrote a first right, and the contingency dates do not start on the purchase agreement until the first right is lifted.
Yeah.
This agent didn't know that. He called me and he was like, your inspection response is due today. And I was like, no. I'm like, no, it's not. And he was like, yeah, it's been 15 days since we accepted the purchase agreement. And I literally pulled up the first right and I said, online, blank, blank, this is what it says. And I read it to him.
Best feeling when you're like, here's the receipts for what I just said. Take them.
He was like, you're right, it does say that. Well, I apologize. I'm going to have to call my clients. I was like, That made me feel pretty good. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're
I
like,
am.
boom.
Yes, yes. That's better than making a check almost.
It is. It's just having that like, you know, I'm right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. I had one. So I've got this lake property on leased ground up up on Hamilton, and a ton of questions about the leased ground because it's not common. And somebody tried to come at me with like 6 different questions, well, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, line, boom. I was like, per line, bop 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 bop, and I was like, and they were like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels so good. It does. Especially when you're young. When you're older, I mean, yeah, it's like, whatever. But when you're young and you're
you gotta take your wins.
Yeah, you gotta take your wins where you can get them, exactly. But
and I honestly was surprised, like, so I've got a weird niche of very old people that love working with me.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but that's been like most of my transactions this year.
Like older agents.
No, like older clients.
Oh, older clients.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, they love
gotcha.
working with me for some reason. I don't know if it's the energy or what, but I feel like I've never been disrespected by any of them. But then I've had some clients who are closer to my age that have been like super disrespectful about the whole age thing, and you're like, so wait, you're my age, you're close to my age, and you don't trust me, but this person that's like 60 does.
You'd think it'd be opposite, but yeah.
Maybe it's just the old people have seen so much, they're like, it is what it is.
Maybe.
We'll see. All right, well, I really appreciate you stopping by and chatting with me today. Hopefully we'll have you on again, and thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks.